Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in this world. I'm DJ Unification, also known as Double Dragon 912. And today, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? News Fridays is finally back. Gameplay footage you see in the background, I don't know yet, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, I like to surprise you and surprise me. Man, got a lot of interesting news stories this week, ladies and gentlemen. As y'all see in the title, you know I'm going to try to talk about as much as I can to you guys and girls. Man, crazy stuff dropped this week. But before I get into that, remember, I tell y'all, Jesus Christ love y'all. Remember, God sent His Son, Jesus Christ, to die for our sins. Get to know Him, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, I would not be sitting up here talking to y'all one for Jesus. I've been through some things in my life. I know I ain't the only one out there that done been through their fair share of trials and tribulations. I'm just telling you my story. And you know who was there for me the whole time? Jesus Christ. He got me through it. Y'all get to know Him before it's too late. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into my first news story for today, ladies and gentlemen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the first thing I want to talk about today on this rendition of News Friday, The Legend of Zelda live action film premieres March 26, 2027. Wow. Now it's via Nintendo Today's app. Yeah. Thought y'all wanted to know, my Legend of Zelda fans. I'll be honest with you guys and girls, I've never been a big Zelda fan. I know. Put down your pitchforks. Apparently, I learned from some of my friends that played Zelda that I played the wrong one. The first one I played when I was growing up, Nintendo, you know, I told you I started off with Nintendo. First Zelda I played was Zelda 2. And apparently that was one of the worst Zeldas ever made. So I must have got a bad start off. But I did watch some of my friends play, what was it, the one that came out on Super Nintendo. That looked interesting. I guess I need to give Zelda another shot, because literally when I played Zelda back in the day on Nintendo, I was playing Zelda 2 and I didn't know where I was going. I kept running. I couldn't never get out of it. I was like, what? Where am I supposed to go? I kept running. The script scene kept repeating itself like I was in an endless loop. I didn't know what was going on, ladies and gentlemen. So I just put that down. Now went to God, started playing Double Dragon. That's why I guess I never was a big Zelda fan, because that one game, I guess I played the wrong game. But anyways, that's, if y'all ever wanted to know why Double Dragon not a big fan of Zelda, that's why. I guess I need to give it another shot. But all you Zelda fans, I ain't finna be stupid and think, you know, that a lot of people don't love Zelda. Zelda's an icon, but it's a movie. I remember I reported on this news way back a few News Fridays ago that Sony, I think Sony Pictures is doing this. Y'all think they're gonna tear it up? Y'all know Hollywood and the video game track record. They ain't good at making video game movies. Most times they destroy them. So, what y'all think? Y'all think Hollywood gonna botch this one, or y'all think it's gonna be pretty good? Let me know down there in the comment section. Like I said, everything I talk about, link in the description. Back up everything I do with news articles. Anyways, let's keep moving. Moving right along. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this. Sony ended shipments of PS4 and PS4 Pro consoles in Japan as of last year. Wow. Now, let me read some of this, ladies and gentlemen. Sony's Interactive Entertainment officially ended shipments of PS4 and PS4 Pro consoles in Japan as of last year. The official Japanese PlayStation website was updated on March 28, 2024 with information regarding the availability of its previous generation console. Sony Interactive Entertainment ended shipment of both the PS4 and PS4 Pro in Japan as of last year. This suggests that worldwide shipments of its console has all ended. Wow. Well, I guess they had to stop making them eventually, even though a lot of people are still playing the PS4. You know, PS4 came out, what, 2013? And here, what it is, 2025? Yeah. So, I understand Sony got to eventually stop making them, but I know a lot of people out there still got their PS4. My dad, he still got his PS4. I know a lot of people out there still got their PS4. Be honest with y'all guys and girls, I know I don't say this, may sound like a broken record, but I'll say it again. Honestly, there's only one game that really pushed the PS5, will give me a reason to buy a PS5. At first I couldn't say this, but I can honestly say it now because I don't play this so much. Tekken 8. Tekken 8 is literally the only next gen game that I ever seen. All them other games, to me, they look like games that can run on the PS4 Pro. Like Stellar Blade. It looks good. Look like it can run on the PS4 Pro. God of War Ragnarok. It look like it can run on the PS4 Pro. Technically you can, because new God of War is out on PS4. Horizon Zero Dawn, the new one, it's on PS4. Gran Turismo 7, PS4. Literally, there's no reason to own a PS5. But now, I understand it's been, how many years? 12 years, I guess Sony got to eventually stop making them. But really, literally, I'm telling y'all, Sony has dropped the ball when it comes to just pushing that hardware. And they got the nerve to want to make a PS5 Pro. Really, Sony? Seriously? You ain't tapped out the PS5 yet. And like I said, the only game that really looks next gen to me is Tekken 8. And to make it so bad, that's crazy. That ain't even Sony making that. You know who made that? Bandai Namco, a third party company, make better looking games than Sony. Wow. Ridiculous. Well, dude, Drake, why you got a PS5? If I didn't say this, I'm going to say it again. For one, I wanted to bless myself. I'm going to bless myself with something that, because I have been spending money on everybody, different people out there that I've been spending my money on. I wanted to actually spend money on Double Dragon. Sometimes you got to do that, self-love. That's one reason. And the second reason, I give PS5 this much credit. If you got all your PS4 games like, let's see, do I got any PS4 games sitting up here? I really don't. Yeah. Here we go. Games like this will work on my PS5. All I gotta do is pop it in there and it'll work. It's backwards compatible with everything. So, really and truly, the PS5 is just like a PS4 Pro 0.5, because they already got a PS4 Pro now. PS4 Pro 0.5. And if you didn't know, Sony did, you know, they would have never told us this, but when the people hacked Insomniac Games, they said that, what was it, like half of the PS5 PSN users are still on PS4. So I think the PSN users for PlayStation was like 110 million, something like that. 50 million of those are still on PS4. So yeah, even though Sony said they finna shut down, stop making games for the PS4, trust me, Sony ain't finna shut down that money that's coming in off the PSN services. They ain't finna shut that down. They gonna keep that going. If they still got the PS3 store open, trust me when I tell you this, that PS4 store gonna still be open. Trust me, Sony still want that money. They are a company after all. A lot of people don't really want to upgrade. I understand. I get it. You ain't really gave us nothing, no incentive to want to upgrade. Tekken 8 looks amazing. Stellar Blade, it's a fun game. I ain't gonna take nothing from it, but it ain't that wow. Even Final Fantasy regarbage, it ain't that wow, that eye-popping game that, you know, like wow. It just ain't it. It just ain't it, for real. And like I tell y'all in all my videos, I ain't really no graphics yet when it come to graphics. I ain't really no graphics yet, but I had to give Tekken 8 credit where credit due. When a game, I let my mom and dad that don't even really play video games put us on them. When they look at it and be like, wow, Double Dragon, that's all I got to say. Because they casual, they don't even play games like that. When they say wow on a game, they say it look like it's real. What else can you say? You know what I'm saying? What else can you say? But this is messed. This really ain't messed up. But I understand that Sony had to stop making them eventually because they trying to move everybody on to the PS5 and get everybody to the PS5. But a lot of people ain't trying to pay $500 for no freaking video game console. My opinion, they making this stuff so high. You take it out. I'm hoping we don't get a gaming crash, but that's what things leading. Y'all keep these high behind prices. A lot of people ain't trying to pay all that money for that PS5, and they look at it like, well, this just look like a PS4. Do the same as my PS4. So, hey, we'll see. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of an era. Basically, they stopped making PS4s. So, trust me, there's plenty. I think Sony done sold 114 million PS4s. So you can find a PS4 somewhere if you really want to get into gaming. PS4 got a huge library. Although Sony first party ain't making PS4 games no more, third party companies are still making PS4 games. They are. Shoot. Capcom Fighting Collection Part 2, that's coming out soon. So looking forward to that. Anyways, let's keep moving. Moving right along. Moving right along. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, let's get down to my last news story for today, ladies and gentlemen. If you did not know, this past, was it Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. The Switch 2 was revealed. Wow. Now, let's get into the specs and all this stuff much as I know. Because I was trying to not watch nobody else's videos until I gave y'all my thoughts on it. So the Switch 2, if you did not know, comes out June 5th, and it will cost $449 alone. Wow, it's kind of steep, Nintendo. And if you want the digital, the bundle with the digital copy of Mario Kart World will cost you $500. Wow. We're gonna get into that. Now, let me tell you some more what's going on with the Nintendo Switch. Get all the news out the way, then I can break things down for you guys and girls a little bit more. Let me see now. Let me see you get down. Let me stop being silly. Here we go. Nintendo has shared concrete specs about the Switch 2 hardware in its last Nintendo Direct, including support for HDR, 4K resolutions while docked, 120 frames per second in supported titles, when not in 4K, and magnetic Joy-Con controllers. The Switch 2 LCD screen is larger than its predecessor by 7.9 inches, but the device overall is the same thickness as the original Switch. So it's still that thick old good. Let me stop being silly. The screen itself is an upgrade and will run at 1080p in handheld mode. Update the spec. In handheld mode, and features an improved adjustable kickstand and 2 USB-C ports, one on the top of the console and one on the bottom of the console. When docked, the Switch 2 will be able to run games at 4K, but will be fixed at 60 frames per second. When not running in 4K, certain titles will support frame rates of up to 120 frames per second with variable refresh rates, or VRR also supported. They get into the PC specs now. The dock itself is also receiving an upgrade in the form of a built-in fan to keep the console cool. Okay, alright. Now let's get into somehow. That's the gist of it. Now some of the games that this is what I've been hearing different people going off on. That Mario Kart World gonna cost you $80. Wow. It's gonna cost you $80. And I think the physical version probably gonna cost more. Let me make sure. For some of the games, I think I'm gonna cost you $90 for the physical. The digital version is gonna be a little bit cheaper if I remember correctly. Give me a second. Let me just spout out information that I don't know. Here we go. Let me see if I can find this real quick for you guys and girls. We're all friends here. Here we go. Here go to the actual news article. Like I said, everything I talk about be a link in the description. Here we go. Mario Kart World. The digital version is going to be $79.99, and the physical version of it going to be $99. Let me see. I think the physical version is going to be $90 according to this website. Yeah. Like I said, everything I talk about, the link in the description. Now we done got all the specs and stuff out the way. Let me show you something, tell you about some of the games that are coming out. Mario Kart World is coming out day one when it comes out. Also, because I had this in the title too, for my Street Fighter fans, Street Fighter 6. Let me read this to you. Street Fighter 6 is coming to the Switch 2 on June 5th alongside Years 1 and 2 Fighters Edition. Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I just was talking about this with one of my friends. I said, man, I'm going to wait until Street Fighter comes out with the big time digital, the bundle with both the season passes on it, which they are. So that's when I'm going to really get into Street Fighter 6. So that comes out June 5th, the same day the Switch 2 comes out. If you didn't know, Switch 2 is slated to come out June 5th. And you can pre-order it now at different stores and all that stuff. It's going to be $44.49 if you don't want Super Mario World, but you want Super Mario World with the bundle, it's going to be $500. Wow. Now, let's see what else. They got Cyberpunk coming. That's coming too. And also, even though I don't like this game, y'all know I don't, Final Fantasy Re-Garbage is coming to the Switch 2 also. And Cyberpunk, Street Fighter. Just name a few games that's coming to the Switch 2. Like I said, everything I talk about is coming down. There'll be a link in the description to everything that I'm talking about. Now, I got all of the facts out the way. Now, let me tell you what I think about this. Shouts out to some of my friends. They were saying like, well, Double Dragon, Nintendo don't screw the pooch. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but this is Nintendo we talking about. Then people, gamers for some reason are very forgiving when it comes to Nintendo. I know, like I think they bumped up the price of Zelda to $70, and gamers just went there and paid for it. Gamers are very forgiving when it comes to Nintendo. $500? That's ridiculous for a console. Ridiculous. This you didn't know. PlayStation 3, when it first came out, they had the lower version for $500 and they had the higher version for $600, and it's ridiculous. People talking about it's too expensive. This console really and truly is too expensive. $449, and then you got the regular Switch, which ain't number $300, and then you got the digital version, which is $500. I know what y'all saying. I see what everybody's saying. People saying that, well, man, that's too expensive. The game's too expensive. Yeah, I get what you're saying. But this is Nintendo we talking about. When it comes, I don't know what it is. When it comes to Nintendo, people are very forgiving. They let Nintendo get away with a lot of stuff. Now, people don't like to speak with their wallet when it comes to Nintendo. I don't know what that is. A lot of people don't like to speak with their wallet when it comes to Nintendo. Me personally, I'm telling y'all, not trying to get the Switch 2 right now. It's too high. Shoot, like I said, I paid $2 for this PS5. PS5 been out since 2020, 2025, and it still hasn't got a price drop. That console is still $500. Shout out to my homie Figsy on PlayStation Collectors Podcast. He said there's been a lot of discounts and stuff. I don't think there's been an actual big price cut, you know. He said technically that it is, but I got to do my research on that. But for the most part, the PlayStation 5 still, if you want the physical version, like I like physical, you got to pay $500 for it. And the Switch 2, which is finally going to have 4K after all these years, They moving on up in the world. It's gonna cost an arm and a leg. And I know a lot of people saying, different people saying that the Switch 2 is. I don't think so. Not only that, Switch 2 is gonna be more expensive. It's gonna have backwards compatibility. That's what's gonna sell it real lot. A lot of your Switch games gonna work on your Switch 2, and it probably gonna upgrade the graphics a little bit. So we'll have to see. Me personally, I ain't trying to get a Switch 2. I'm good. I'm good. As long as I got a PC, I'm good. I'll just get me a PC, but I still got the Switch 1. As long as they keep bringing games out on Switch 1, like exclusive games that I really want, I'm good. Do I think the console is too expensive? Yes. Nintendo wrong for that. They shouldn't have had it that expensive. What? Let me tell you, really and truly would have been a sweet spot for Nintendo if that console had came out at $400. Right at $400, that'd been a sweet spot. But me personally, I think it's too expensive. I think some of the games are too expensive. And tell you the truth, Nintendo's they stepping out there. If people, if this go by, you know, there was a rumor a few weeks ago, people saying that the new Grand Theft Auto game was going to be $100. Yeah, I can see that. Now, if gaming end up getting like this, and, you know, Nintendo be the first one to usher it in. If y'all didn't know, Nintendo game never go down in price. Smash Brothers still $60, $70 in different places. I think Mike can get it for $50. And Smash Brothers been out for 5-6 years now. Y'all know, I'm like, well, just wait for a sale. But Nintendo games, they don't go off. They don't never go on sale. They always be high. They always be high and too expensive. I'm hoping, y'all, this don't lead to a gaming crash, because these prices on these games, ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Because if you didn't know, if you do your history, a lot of these consoles, you know, back before Nintendo came and saved the day over here in America, before Nintendo came and saved the day, these we had a video game crash. Not all over the world, but mainly in America, we had a video game crash. And you know why? Because there's too much crap that was on the market, and video game consoles was too expensive. Now, with Nintendo coming out with close to basically $500 consoles, and then you got PlayStation still $500, then even the Xbox still $500. I don't know. Be honest with you guys and girls, unless you like physical media like me and a few others, not just a few others, a lot of us like out there, you better off just getting you a PC. Seriously. You better off just getting you a PC, unless you want the exclusive. Now, Nintendo may have something going there because, you know, they got exclusives. The only place you're going to be able to legally play Mario, Zelda, and all them games at is Switch. They don't do what Sony and them do, put their stuff on PC. They don't do all that. Nintendo like, no. If you want to play Zelda, Mario, all them, your classic Pokemon, you're going to have to get you a Switch. So, for the most part, I think Nintendo going to be alright, because they Nintendo. They can pull stunts like this. It would shock me if people don't bat an eye. You know, people are like, no, I ain't paying for that. We'll see. Once the sales after June this year, we'll see. I think that's too expensive, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be honest with you. I think the Switch 2 is too expensive. A sweet spot for Nintendo would have been $400. But hey, I guess because these tariffs and stuff that's going on, but still, you just sometimes got to bite that bullet and make up for your system console sales with your software sales. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's just my opinion on the whole matter. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that about wraps it up, ladies and gentlemen, for this rendition of News Fridays. Leave comments below, ladies and gentlemen, what you guys, girls, think about the Switch 2. Y'all excited for it? Is that price too high? Or y'all think that's a good price for y'all? Y'all care nothing about it? Let me know about all that down there in the comment section. Also, tell me what you guys, girls, think about Street Fighter. My Street Fighter fighting game fans, y'all getting Street Fighter 6 to basically the complete edition when it comes out with Season 1, Season 2 in June. Y'all getting that? Do y'all even care? Let me know about that down there in the comment section. Tell me what you guys and girls think about Sony finally stopping production of PS4. Y'all, anybody out there still got a PS4? Have y'all decided to go ahead and upgrade to PS5? Let me know about that down there in the comment section. And tell me what you guys and girls think about this Legend of Zelda movie. Y'all think it's going to be any good? Or y'all think it's going to be hot garbage? Let me know about everything we talked about down there in the comment section. Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I got a new outro. Hopefully y'all enjoy it. Right after I get through running my mouth. Thank you guys and girls so much for watching. Stay tuned for more great videos like this on the way. Double Dragon 912 signing out. Peace out.